purpose of a paper and pen is to resurrect the spirit within.
Say one more time, one more time.
Investigators say she was found with a family of Nubian nation followers who use starvation as discipline.
Police say her baby died of malnutrition.
I set out on a journey of discovery with internal questions, requesting myself in connection to his story, misrepresented as his story, which is nothing more than a theory, mixed-match allegory of my already existing glory. What you call a mystery, I call my story. You call it mythology, but I call it my ontology. With all-seeing eyes, I analyze beyond the guise. Once forced into submission, caught under the weight of his well-disguised lies. When you love all else more than your own self, should you really be surprised when the goddess in you dies? Given his lesser knowledge puts you under his control. Your addiction to his sickness system gives him permission to torture and to steal your soul. This is the destruction that was done to you, taught to accept falsehoods and foolishness purposely put in front of you. Life is will-powered, so take control of the will. Allow me to reintroduce you unto what is real. You won't stumble upon peace nor paradise with a pair of dice. Nothing happens by chance. So will you choose to watch the multiverse move, or will you get up and join her dance? Study the circumference of your inner circle. This is the condition of your circumstance. Remember, you are the radius. You are the nucleus. You are the most pivotal point, the axis. I set in on a journey of discovery with internal questions, requesting myself in her full identity. Found that the self is both best friend and worst enemy if she never discovers the true power of her energy. For too long, I was imprisoned by my emotions. Now, I live life in flow motions, on and on and on until my next move. And it behooves me to flow fluently so my interest sound is ultra smooth, a geometric groove. As I plan its fall from my fallopian tubes. I am the maker of this matrix, mother of matter, maternal master, the matriarch. No microscopes used to fuse my molecules in the dark. I am an F sharp on the major scale. F is for female, F is for feline, F is for fem-I-9. 9 to the 9th power of 99. Numbers, notes, and natural sciences all combined to comprise this black, magical, mathematical, musical soul of mine. Sun sounds sonic, the sun. Soul sounds solar, our souls are suns. Separate suns of my solar plexuses are connected as one by a 9th chord. Taking this world by solar storm, intrinsically I'll transform, transcending the plane of force, lifting you to a higher level of intellectual intercourse. A fierce and friendly fire, now watch me dance to the rhythm of my own tune. I look up to see the inner reflection of my dark womb, taking after my mother nature, gaseous ether, burning ember, disappearing vapor, unclassified. My description cannot fit your nomenclature. The original essences of estrogen and progesterone are poised within you. You are moving toward that eternal state of perfect balance. I encourage you. I inspire you to rise like smoke to the eternal challenge. Develop your skills, your gifts, and your talents. Widen and broaden your range so that you can embrace change. The soul is the self, and the self is the soul. Myself scribe the script of those ancient scrolls. Feel free to question me on that. They say curiosity killed the black cat, but she had the nine mind of the feminine feline, and that is what brought her back. She doesn't backtrack. Thank you.
Wow. Now, that is a strong woman. It's so inspiring, and it's so great to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
She's only 24. In fact, when she came to be here with us today, it was her second flight ever. And the first one, she worked on the streets of Atlanta doing street poetry to raise money to go to the International Youth Poetry Slam in Chicago. You know, one of the many disturbing things about your story is that it's common, all too common. And every single day in this country, women and girls go missing.
That's true.
And some cases are more horrible than others.
Yes.
You gave birth to 2 children while you're in an extended, crappy motel in Atlanta with this guy named Calvin McIntosh, and he is now in jail awaiting trial for murder, cruelty to children, and a whole long list of felonies. Now, you were found when he brought your second baby that was born in captivity to the hospital. This baby was 15 months old, 7 pounds.
The size of a newborn.
All right, now, I just heard you say in that poem, nothing happens by chance.
Definitely.
But didn't you think, why me? Why me?
Oh, of course. I was saying that to myself the entire time. I spent a lot of time asking myself, for one, am I going to survive this? And there was a point where I realized that the chance of me not surviving, being in captivity, were so great that I didn't see a future for myself. But to be here with you all today is much more than I could have ever imagined.
So how did physically writing help you survive?
Oh, definitely. Okay, so I feel like life moves so quickly. It's happening in real time. And so writing gives me the chance to freeze frame everything and sort it out all on the paper. So when you see it right there in front of you, you can deal with it much better because you have more time to think about it and to take in all of what's happening at that one time. And so that's what really, really helps me about writing, is because I get to slow down the fast pace that is life.
And as he's trying, as you said, to steal your soul, how does it help you?
Oh, well, he tried. I will say that it definitely wasn't easy. In fact, a lot of times, I would be trying to write my poems, and I would be trying to just memorize and recite the ones that I've already written to remind myself of who I was, and not who he was trying to force me to be, and not who he wanted me to be. Because in his mind, he felt like I deserved all of the things that he was doing to torture me. And I knew better. And so I had to continue to remind myself through my poetry that I know who I am. And I'm completely different from the person that you are justifying doing all of this.
Take note of Iasia, because you're going to know a lot more about her.
Yeah.
You know, when the police arrived, it's actually hard to even say this. You weighed 59 pounds, about half of what you weigh now.
Yes.
So what was it like in that room?
It was very, it really felt like the world had stopped outside of that room. And so after recovering and being able to walk and talk again, months and months after being rescued, I was expecting for the world to be as it was when I was 17. And so I had nieces and nephews that were born that were like walking and talking, and I'm like, who is that? You know, yeah, a lot happened within that time where I was literally stolen from my life, and I really thought that my life had ended once I was separated from my family for so long. It wasn't easy to get readjusted. It really wasn't. That's how, that room was like it was almost like a freezer. It's like it froze me in time. And so the rest of the world was going on, and there was nothing that I could do.
Did you have something that you thought about to hang in there for the worst days?
Oh, definitely. It was hard to hang on, and I just thought about who I know myself to be, and the way that I was raised. My grandmother and my mom instilled so much appreciation for life in me, and just very core and deeply rooted Christian values, where I had to remind myself that if no one else can hear me scream, God can hear me. If no one else can see me crying, God can hear me. If no one else can see me being starved, God sees it. And so I really had to strengthen my faith in those moments and know that if no one else will take care of me, I know that my Creator will.
So your faith was important.
Oh, yes, yes.
I helped
Definitely.
Amanda Berry. She was one of the girls who had a baby in captivity in Cleveland. She was held, chained to a radiator for 10 years.
Wow.
Helped her write her book, and she said that without her faith and a pen and paper to write things down, she didn't know if she could make it.
Yeah.
Now, you were introduced to this horrible man through his son.
Yes.
And the two of you, the son, had become friends, and he said, oh, my father will help you publish your poetry.
Yeah.
Now, poetry has been your whole life. You have a lot to look forward to. But how has what happened to you changed your poetry?
Well, I definitely feel like now I know for a fact that I need my poetry in order to survive. It's what helped me survive in the most trying times of my entire life. And so I know that just like I need oxygen and I need food, I need poetry. I need it. And it's a part of who I am. It's definitely more deeply enrooted inside of me than I ever would have thought.
You know, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
What is the difference? What is the difference between poetry, and your poetry is called spoken word poetry,
yes,
and rap?
Okay.
And this will date me. Okay, so what's...
No, you're absolutely fine. I get this question a lot. Well, I define rap as ruthlessly assembled poetry.
Ruthlessly assembled poetry.
R.I.P. It's ruthlessly assembled. And so...
And is poetry more nicely assembled?
Well, I think that no matter how hard you try, if you were trying, you could never lie in a poem. A poem is always the very essence of what you feel, whether or not you've been courageous enough to express it, is going to come out in the poem. So whatever is the truth about what you really, truly feel, no matter how painful it might be, no matter how surprising it might be, that's the poem. And so once you begin to see that truth, and if you want to turn it into a rap, then you just marry that passion or that aggression or the anger or
you know, the strength or whatever your ruthless is. You know, there's a lot of different
you just said
ways.
that you can't lie in a poem.
You cannot lie in a poem.
Maybe we should have a poetry contest at the White House.
Yes, I definitely think we should. I definitely think we should.
But okay.
I think that the oath of office should be an original poem by each member.
But by the way, I
really
hear
do.
rappers make a lot more money than poets, so I'm glad that you're versatile. And I think the world needs a lot more female rappers.
Oh, I definitely agree.
Anyway.
I definitely agree. I think that rappers, they probably not going to want to tell you this, but they are actually poets at the core, because what they're doing, rap comes from poetry. So they're actually poets, but a lot of them, they're like, well, we don't want to seem all sappy and stuff like that, so we got to call ourselves rappers. That's all it is. It's just, you know,
I've never
it's an
heard about a
thing.
sappy rapper. So
yeah, there's no
great.
such thing as a sappy rapper. That's true.
You know, if this hadn't happened to you, these 4 freeze-framed years, do you ever think, you know, gosh, what would I be doing today?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I think about it all the time, and a lot of times, like when I tell you just recently, I began to truly accept that nothing will happen to me that's not supposed to happen to me. I literally, like last week, that's how recent we're talking here. So, you know, I definitely totally, once I had gotten recovered and was able to realize what was going on, how much time had elapsed, I was like having a heart attack, you know?
Well, when you got out, you made up for lost time. Just 18 months after the rescue, you graduated from the DeKalb School of the Arts.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
18 months after being rescued near death in a Gwinnett County hotel room, Iasia Sweeting received her high school diploma. Sweeting received a standing ovation from students not even in high school when she took classes.
It's incredible. And I hear Spelman College is now in your future.
Oh, yes, Spelman is definitely in my future. Yes.
You, without any help, had to help yourself have 2 babies by yourself without, I mean, it's unspeakable, the first one at 19. And now you're taking formal training to be a midwife?
Yes, I definitely think that, you know, when I had to deliver my children without any medical attention, no advice or anything, just basically having to trust that I was created to do this. You know, it sounds a lot easier when you're not going through it, by the way.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Well, we are humbled by your resilience. And, you know, a lot of people have horrible things to go through in life and just want to curl up and cry. So do you have some little advice for when you feel like that? How do you keep going and look hopeful to the future?
Oh, definitely. I curl up and cry a lot, as you probably could imagine. But for one, I always make sure that I never go to sleep sad or angry or in too much pain. And I always just remind myself that just like I can cry, I can also smile. And I'm still here to be able to smile. And that's enough to help me keep going. Definitely. Definitely. There were so many times where I thought for sure that, you know, I hope that all that I've written up until this point will be enough for people to remember who I am, because I really didn't think that I would make it out of that situation. And a lot of young women don't. And so I'm humbled myself to still be here, because those dark days, they came, and there was no light for a long time.
Brighter days. I mean, you are inspiring. resilient.
Thank you.
Iasia.